Hello and welcome. Today's webcast is on how to create a recurring transaction in Myob. A recurring transaction is a withdrawal or deposit that happens regularly, such as monthly rent, phone or bank charges. If you save transactions as recurring, you can recall them at any time, speeding up data entry and reducing errors. My name is Henry Schmerling from Bookkeeping Concepts. The process is simple, and you may ask, why wasn't I doing this sooner? Here's how you do it. Okay, we are now really on the home page of Myob. As you can see, there are a number of icons representing different command centers, each perform a different function. But for today, we're just going to concentrate on sales and purchases because that is what we're going to be learning, how to create a recurring transaction for both a sale and both a purchase. Let's get into it. First thing we need to do is click Enter Sales and select a customer. We're going to create the invoice first before we save it. Okay, so we've only got the one customer, so we'll use that particular customer. What we need to do then is just enter some details which are relevant, the invoice number, the date, and just maybe put in a description of some type which is meaningful. Oh, don't need that. Well, as I'm a bookkeeper by nature, I will put in bookkeeping services. Put in an income account, which is bookkeeping fees. Good idea to put an amount in. Then just to check the tax, that the correct tax is being applied. Yes, I'm registered for GST, so the GST goes there. Yes, it's been allocated, that's fine. Now I don't press the record button. I normally would here. What we're going to do is just follow the mouse and you will see that we're going to press this particular button, Save as Recurring. It's going to take us to a different screen, and it is the Edit Recurring Schedule screen. Now, I don't like to have the word sale there because that's a generic term. It comes up every time. I like to have something which is more meaningful that I'll know once I have many recurring transactions, what I'm looking for very quickly. Just have a look at all these, the schedules and the alerts. It's quite simple and quite straightforward. When you're happy with what's here, have a bit of a look around. Then you just have to save the transaction, which I will do. Yes, I should press that button. Okay. Now at this point, I click the record button. That invoice has now been saved. Oop, don't need that again. Don't know why that's coming up. Okay. Now I'm going to enter another invoice using the recurring transaction, and you'll see how simple it really is. Right. Same procedure, but we don't actually now type in the customer. We go to this particular icon, use recurring. There's my list at the moment of recurring transactions, can of worms. We just created that a moment ago. Yes, that's the one we want. Okay. Click select, and there it has come up exactly the way it was just a moment ago. All we need to do now is either change the invoice number, change the date, maybe change the amount if we need to, if it's different. And that's really about it. The account stays the same, and that's as easy as that. Okay, now we'll do the same for purchases. It's a very similar process. Just as you can see, enter purchases. We've only got the one supplier, so we'll use that supplier. Again, just change the date. We put in a supplier invoice number, as you would if you had it in a paper situation. Enter some information. Purchases probably would be a typical type of description. I would go into more detail than that normally, but for the purpose of this webcast, that's all we really need. We're using a generic cost of sales, no big deal. Let's put in an amount. Again, make sure that the tax is entered correctly. Yes, GST, the supplier is registered. Again, don't press the record button, go over to here, save as recurring, and a similar box to the invoice appears. Again, I don't like the word purchasers. Dodgy Brother seems probably more appropriate if you're looking for them down the track. Oh, again, I've got problems with my computer, it looks like. Press save, press record, yes. Done. Now to enter another purchase using the recurring transaction, it's a very similar process. Don't put in the supply name there. Go down to use recurring, just like in sales. Select the exact same invoice comes up. Change the date if you want, change the invoice number, you can change the amount. The account is exactly the same. And really, in the end, once you're happy with that, and everything looks right, you just click record. Okay. Now that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you create a recurring transaction for an invoice and for a purchase. I hope that's been informative. I hope you've learned something. If you need more information, if you need to understand a bit more about Myob, and you want face-to-face help, just call me at Bookkeeping Concepts at info@bookkeepingconcepts.com.au. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you again on the web.